Hi everyone, peace be on you all. In this second part, we will look into spirit and soul, which are the invisible but life and motion-giving sides of the living human body. These directly imperceptible bodies can only be studied through physical body activities and are used for reflecting individual thoughts and ideas in the form of actions and reactions. Even though not fully, they can become apparent to be perceived and assessed up to a certain level in this three-dimensional world. Obviously, values, rules and regulations of the chosen deity or deities play the major role in influencing the perception and thoughts of the chooser that reflect on his or her actions and reactions, as well as evaluating the actions and the reactions of the others. So, life order of the chooser will be formed and motivated by the chosen deity or deities first. Then the existing variable values of geographical, historical, and cultural principles will take place accordingly. As soon as the choice of deity or deities is done, the first step is taken towards the preferred way of life, which is called religion, that involves seen or unseen every aspect of individual and social life. Therefore, to be able to achieve genuine synchronization between the visible and invisible beings, including human body, spirit, and soul, authentication of the chosen deity is necessary. Yet again, before going into the definition and authentication of the deity, we have to look into brief history of some major religious practices in the world. This is to be able to grasp the meaning of deity better. We have to know why the choice of deity or deities need to be done first for defining religions. How these religions define body, spirit, and soul interrelations, and what the chosen deity or deities offer to humanity for life and afterlife. Concerning the name of spirit, it is called Atman in Hindu, Ah in Old Egyptian, Tin in Old Turkish, Zi in Sumerian, Ruh in Arabic, Psyche in Greek, Spiritus in Latin, and Spirit in English. Usually they all have the same or even similar meaning. In the meantime, we have to narrow this vast subject down to manageable size. Therefore, we will look into the history of some of the Far East, Middle East religions and the latest 3 books of the Revelations. We can start looking into some of the early Hindu religious ritual practices that later called Hinduism, which becomes the base for most of the Far East religions like Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism. Traceable history of Hinduism goes back around to 2300 BC, and it has gone through many major changes since then. The time between 1500 to 500 BC is called the Vedic period. Orally kept traditional and religious values began to be written at the end of this period by socially respected group of men who were called learned men. At the moment, there are 4 written books that are called Vedas, which means knowledge. The Rig Veda is about fixing and adjusting the knowledge. Samaveda is knowledge about the higher and unseen beings. Yajurveda is about the knowledge how to worship, and Atharta Veda is about how to organize knowledge. The stage before the Vedic period is called the sacrificial period. At that time, Brahman was the absolute, the only one creator, unseen power with an unknown form. They believed that every creation was sacred, including the spirit and soul, which were coming directly from the Creator. Therefore, the eternal salvation can only be achieved by keeping the Creator happy. For this reason, sacrifications of animal and food were offered directly to the Creator. In fact, in certain sects, even humans were sacrificed to keep the good relationship with the Creator. Even then, there were so many different ways of understanding in the meaning of deity, which was leading to various ways of worshipping between the different groups in the same religion. Aryans came to India around 1500 BC and started to add some new sections into existing Vedas between 800 to 200 BC, which are called Upanishads. This made the major turning point in Hindu religious traditions. Thus, the caste classifications were introduced into social system and the notion of reincarnation into the spiritual structure. Consequently, in Hinduism, body, spirit and soul mixed together and headed for a new transformed social order on one hand and a newly altered spiritual structure on the other at the same time. In these new changes, the creating power is given to the Brahman, the power of protection, prolificacy, and pervasiveness is to Vishnu, and the power of destruction and regeneration is to Shiva. Hence, these newly created deities not only began to take man-made forms, but also had man-specified divine attributes. Thus, the full devotion shifts from worshipping the one and only Creator alone to these three different man-made deities. Thus, the assumption of some people began to shape the thoughts, actions, and reactions of the some others under the name of human-generated deities and values. Eventually, actions and events were created for the deities, and the deities were created for the actions and events. Today, Hinduism is called the religion of thousands of deities. As seen in the pictures, there are around 9,000 idolized deities in the cave of Bniyة alone. So the deified human inspiration, thoughts and ideas paved the way for creating plentiful human-made new deities towards making new religions to be for or against. Buddhism is founded around 6th century BC by a pioneer, Siddhartha Gautama Sakyamuni, who later called Buddha. He did not accept that the 4 Vedas were true, and he did not leave any written text behind either. However, soon after his death, his followers wrote 10,000 suttas in Pali language. Suttas are considered as moral sayings of Buddha for holding the religion together. These texts are grouped under the 3 sections: disciplines, sermons, and doctrines. Buddhism rejects the theistic worldview, sacredness of human being, idea of reincarnation, and the social caste system of the Hinduism. Instead, it offers born-again principle, which is very similar to reincarnation, but the reason is different. They believe that life is a cycle of suffering and rebirth until reaching to nirvana, the enlightenment of the soul and spirit. Buddhists do not pray to any creator, do not appoint any deity, and do not sacrifice any animal or any other thing. Therefore, there is a controversy about its being a religion or discipline only. However, it seems that man-made scripture of Buddha is taken as the deity in the later stages, and the suttas written by some man used for life order under the name of Siddhartha. Guru Nanak is the founder of Sikhism in Pakistan, Lahore, around 5th century AD. Sikhism is a discipline for mixed values from Islam and Hinduism. They reject the idea of having many deities but accept the idea of reincarnation. Gurus are the religious leaders, and the books they follow is called Guru Granth Sahib, that based on Islamic and Hindu mystic poetries. Sikhism bases on pantheism. They believe that everything came from the Creator and will turn back to its source. Salvation of the human spirit depends on continuous remembrance of the Lord, as well as avoiding evil and practicing good, as it is listed in this illustrative drawing. According to Jainism, any human spirit who believes to the right faith, knows the right knowledge, and acts the right action can achieve eternal salvation in the end. Yet, like Hinduism and Buddhism, human beings have to go through certain stages to perfect these 3 points in self before the spiritual liberation. However, there is no creator, deity, or any particular leaders in Jainism to set what is right and what is wrong for them. Therefore, whose rights and whose wrongs they are following is in question. It seems that Hinduism-based religions do not mention much about where the spirits come from, but concerns where they will go and how. Even though liberation of the spirits based on serving the Creator directly at first changed later significantly. In the end, liberation and salvation of the spirit began to depend on serving the upper class people according to caste system, or obeying the leaders without any confrontation, or just settling for suffering what has been given and said to them. In this first part of the second section, we briefly looked into liberation and salvation of the spirit and soul in Hinduism, Buddhism, Sikhism, and Jainism. In the second part of the second section, we will be looking into ancient Middle East, Sumerian, Egyptian, and Greek mythologies, and what they say about the liberation and salvation of the spirit and soul. In any case, one has to realize that freedom of choosing deity is birth-giving right for all human beings, and every individual is fully responsible for her or his own choice of deity alone. No one else has any right ever to interfere with the choice of others. We can only discuss with full respect to each other's faith to achieve the best for body, spirit, and soul as a whole. So, I wish you all the best and hope to see you soon in the next video.